The Warriors dominate late in Game 2 to even the series against the Boston Celtics, heading to Boston for Game 3. Before I get into the breakdown, I just wanted to say I wasn't able to cover Game 1 because I had really bad allergies and I wasn't feeling that good, and I wasn't able to watch the entire game. I would say I only watched majority of the second quarter and a little bit of the first half, and I didn't want to give a half analysis of the game. I wanted to watch the entire game, but I couldn't. I wasn't feeling that well, so I wasn't able to break down that game. My allergies are still kind of bad, but I was able to watch majority of game 2, and it was a pretty good and impactful and a good watch in the first half until the Warriors dominated in the second. What really stood out to me from Boston's perspective is that the way they run their offense kind of reminded me of like how they used to play at the beginning of the season. They were very isolation oriented and they didn't swing the ball as much. Granted, a lot of the players on Boston couldn't hit a shot, but even though Tatum and Brown were on fire, Ime Udoka's concept and philosophy is to swing the ball, pass the ball, get the ball down the court and score. And in the first half, that's what they did. They scored as fast as possible, and they was just a bunch of good ball movement, and it worked. It worked in the first half, and they were able to stay afloat with the Warriors. I knew this would be an issue later on in the game because as much as how good Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are, at the end of the day, two guys are not going to win you a basketball game. Like, you need your teammates to step up. And it's very hard to win a basketball game by yourself or just with two people. They both could have scored 40 if they wanted to, and they still would have lost that game. It doesn't matter. You need your teammates to be involved in the game, and I'm not saying they didn't pass the ball. I really like Jason Tatum's playmaking, but the Warriors' defense has gotten better. I have to give them credit. But Boston was running a lot of isolation, and it wasn't really working. Boston also has this weird style of offense. Well, it's not a style of offense, but Tatum and Brown, for some reason, they love to force themselves into double teams. Like, of course, they are the star players. They're going to get double teamed. But instead of just passing the ball, they like try to force themselves in the middle looking for a foul. And in the regular season, that would work. That would be considered a foul. But in the playoffs, that's not going to work. And they turn the ball over a lot. Even with the Heat series, Brown and Tatum combined for a lot of turnovers. And this game, Marcus Smart did the same thing. Marcus Smart had 5 turnovers. Too many guys with too many turnovers. Boston was very good in transition in the first half. They were very good at getting the ball down the court. They were very good with scoring, and they had amazing transition defense. That really helped them in the first half, but it all really crumbled in the second when they couldn't really find any sort of offense, when nobody could hit anything and they were turning the ball too much. We also see a lot of guys on Boston getting less minutes, like Robert Williams. I just feel as though, even though I've said he's been the X factor for the Celtics, that could change. Maybe I was seeing too much, but his ability to not shoot against a team like the Warriors, and he sometimes get clogged in the paint, but he's been getting a lot less minutes. He also is very injury prone. In the third quarter, Marcus Smart just fell on his leg. And I don't know. I feel really bad for him because he can be a really good player, but he's just in a really difficult position. Now, from the Warriors side of things, it was a more all-around game, both offensively and defensively. Curry obviously had 29 points. Jordan Poole came alive. He hit that amazing half-court shot at the buzzer in the third quarter. It was a more energy-thrilled Warriors team, especially when Gary Payton came back. But the Warriors, besides their offense, their defense was amazing this game. I'm pretty sure they were ranked 2 behind Boston in number 1 defense or best defensive rating in the NBA. But the Warriors played really good defense against Boston. They understood who to attack and who to leave wide open, and it worked for them. Well, besides Klay Thompson, I expected everybody in the Warriors to shoot how they shot today. I mean, Wiggins could have played better, but everybody played a role. Not everybody did good, but they did enough for them to win The Warriors also love to experiment in the playoffs. I mean, it's worked for a few years, but I know that Kuminga and Moody have started playoff games, I'm pretty sure, but they haven't gotten a lot of minutes. But guys like Bielitsa have gotten minutes in this game. Gary Payton have came back. Yeah, the Warriors just really love to experiment with different lineups in the playoffs, and it works because of how good and how all around they are as a team defensively and offensively. Now, in the fourth quarter, Boston ran a Celtics all bench lineup, and it actually kind of worked as, like I said before, two guys can't win you a game. You need energy. You need guys off the bench that can score, guys that can do the dirty work. And Boston scored 24 points to Golden State's 20 in the fourth quarter, but it didn't matter as Boston was absolutely terrible in the third. But this is what I mean. You can't have two guys be the only guys scoring because they will get cold eventually and you need other guys to step up. And Boston's all bench lineup, they gave Boston a lot more energy, but I'm pretty sure most of the starters didn't play in the fourth quarter. Now, you have to give credit to the Warriors. They're very good at adjusting. They've been in this position before, and they know what to do. They fixed all their mistakes in the first game, and they perfected the positives in the second game, and they won this game. Now, the Celtics are no joke. The Celtics are very good at coming back against good teams. This is what they've been known for. They're very good at coming back. Now, overall, I can see both teams winning this series. I don't know who's exactly going to win, but I do have the Warriors in 6 because of the experience and because of more how all around they are and the depth that they have on their bench. Now, that's not to say that the Celtics have no chance. I think the Celtics have a big chance, as you saw in Game 1. But as of right now, we head back to Boston for Game 3, and we'll see how this series ends.